starting kidding, don't you?
Not at all.
Your question's over. Next one.
Looking at Seattle and the rivalry the last couple of years, especially those playoff meetings, is this one of the more intense matches that you play all year against this team from a tactical and technical standpoint?
I think so. I think that we both have similar philosophies in that we want to dictate the tempo of the game. We want to get the ball down and move it and be dynamic in our attacks. And we're both, I think, very much focused on trying to be at the top of the league every single year. So it means that when two teams are in similar proximity, playing similar styles with similar goals, we tend to have some dust-ups. That's what we've had in the past.
And from last year, very tough teams to break down and score goals against. You kind of expect that same type of organization.
Yes, I think that both teams are very have a very clear definition or idea of how they want to defend. I think that both teams are very committed and that all the players on the field are willing to do that for each other. And that means both teams are typically hard to break down. But I also think that both teams are also typically pretty good at the attacking end of the field. And so it's a little bit of an enigma as to why the past year and a half we haven't scored goals against each other.
Tactically, bringing Javier Morales back in, maybe not Saturday, but over time, do you retain like the three midfielder rotation, or does he kind of lead the attack more centrally and the others stick to the side more?
He's going to be a little bit more of a focal figure, both for defenses and for our guys. When we get the ball, we want to see how many times Javier can touch it in a game. So that will mean that he'll typically be in more central positions. But as the game goes, and depending on the tactical shapes we play against, he sometimes has more of an inclination to go to wide positions when we have it, to find the ball and to change the game a little bit. So it means that we've got to be, I think, oftentimes more in tune with being dynamic in the midfield and covering up the spots when the ball turns over.
Jason, you're not used to having a losing record with this squad, and yet you come into this match.
Holy smokes, 4 games. Now we're talking about a losing record. Wow.
There's only 9.5 months left.
Who was talking about our winning record after the first game?
Me. I was.
Okay, wow.
Just wondering if you could talk about how you aren't worried about that.
I don't know. I mean, sometimes I think that I'm just talking to thin air when I tell you at the beginning of the season that we're going to need to be patient. And it's a tough beginning of the season. And 5 out of 7 on the road is 5 on the 7 on the road. And the opponents that we've played have been very good. We haven't gone to a road place to play a team that finished last place in the league last year. So it is what it is. We knew it coming in. We expected it. Our first game, I think, just threw everybody into a quandary that we were going to be better than what we said we would. And for me, it was a good performance, and that was it. So just like the last couple of performances have been not great, but they are what they are, and we move on. And I'm just not too concerned about the record. And
Jason,
probably not going to be the whole year.
You've had a lot of younger guys, or newer guys, I should say, to the team, and younger guys who've been pushed into action due to injuries, call-ups, and everything. Obviously that's contributed. Hard start of the season. How enthusiastic are you about what you're seeing from some of these younger players?
I think it's great. I mean, I really haven't felt like we've put anybody out there this year and kind of had a fail. And in years past, that's not the case. In years past, we have put out a new player here and there and felt like, whoa, that's a bit scary. But not for us this year. I feel like, especially the young midfielders we've played, there's going to be some young forwards getting opportunities here shortly. And I really just feel strongly about everybody's potential, okay? Not necessarily about where everybody is right now, because we know that we've got a long ways to go, but I have a lot of belief in every player on this team.
Is Morales close to being available?
Yes, very close.
How about Chris Wingard? How far off would you say?
I think Chris is going to be a couple weeks. Today's his first training session, so typically we're looking at least 2 weeks until we would consider something for him.
And how's he looked out there for you?
In 1 day of training, he was great, 100%. 1 day.
Any update on Sabo's injury coming back?
He did not train today. I think you guys probably all saw that. And it's still just very questionable. We've had it before where he hasn't trained the day before the game and then played the game and played very well. So it's touch and go still.
Thank you.